Everybody ready?
Yep. Let's go.
Ahsoka!
4 Midwest Guys presents Star Wars Rebels HQ.
Battles leave scars. Some you can't see.
Holocron. I'm afraid it's changing him.
I will never let my friends get hurt again.
Your anger gives you strength.
Governor Price, these rebels have proven particularly stubborn. How do you intend to solve this problem?
I need someone who sees a bigger picture.
To defeat an enemy, you must know them, not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art.
I must become more powerful.
Split the treasure.
Oh, that's a classic. One last glorious day in the Grand Army of the Republic.
Jedi and Sith, the light and the dark.
They'll be the architects of their own destruction.
The key to destroying the Sith.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Star Wars Rebels HQ. Tonight we'll be reviewing Season 3, Episode 19, Double Agent Droid. And here with me to help me do that is Mr. Brian Enkenbauer. He's back.
What's up, what's up?
What's going on, B?
Not much, man.
Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
And as always, my brother Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, dude. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Alright, let's talk Rebels. Let's talk Episode 19, Double Agent Droid.
Da-da-da-da!
Double Agent Droid. Alright, this might be a little painful, but we'll get through it. So we'll start off with, on the way to the Imperial base, the whole Ezra and Zeb don't have a whole lot of confidence in AP5. Maybe? What do you guys think? Or do you think it was just more a little hazing kind of going on?
It could go either way, but it kind of just seems like a way to kind of fill out the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing.
Yeah, not much to it. Yeah.
Nope.
I'll just for conversation's sake, I'll just say it's more teasing, I think, than maybe personal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the relationship with Chopper as a whole.
Yeah.
So it would fit in.
Okay.
He's not completely out of character for anyone, so.
Yeah. Also, it seems like this seemed to me that AP5 was, I don't know, he took the idea of being on a mission maybe a little too seriously, or became a little bit full of himself.
Yeah, he took being in charge of a mission too seriously, but that's also kind of in character, so.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bit pompous, so.
Right. And on that note, I mean, he finds Wedge's skill or protocol lacking. You're not wearing your helmet while you're flying, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, he wants to make sure he blends in well, so he's checking off all this old, Imperial checklist sort of things.
Right. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, basically, he was just going through. He's a protocol droid, right? An inventory droid.
Yeah.
So he was just. There's a very black and white. This is what you're supposed to do. This is not what you're supposed to do. If you're not doing it, then you're lacking, kind of thing.
Yeah. Off and on. He's obviously feels superior to Chopper. And we get that whole really annoying, anything you can do, I can do better, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Like, I know it's meant to be a joke, and we also have, like, another kind of musical number towards the end.
Yeah.
But it really just seems like it just dragged on too long. Like, one of those Family Guy jokes that just takes the joke, like, 3 minutes too far.
Yeah, I think they were trying to make a point so that Wedge is... Because the next part, Wedge is just really annoyed with him, and he kind of figures out, well, now I know I want this mission.
Well, supposedly, it's like there's even like a cutscene in between them singing like the song, and they're still going.
Well, they're not even singing; they're just going, yes, I can, no, you can't. Yes, I can, no, you can't. It's kind of like two kids arguing in the back of a car.
Yeah.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Kind of a feel to it, but yeah, I thought it was a little overkill too.
Yeah, a little
bit. All right. This is probably going to be a shorter podcast, by the way.
Oh,
folks.
Yes, it will.
So let's move on to Killin Station. Killin Station is on the planet Killin 71. What I didn't realize when I did a little research, this was actually an ISB base. So this is like their FBI base.
Okay.
Which I didn't realize until I did a little work on it. To me, it kind of, when I saw it, I thought it might actually have even been that Edu planet from Rogue One, where Galen Erso was.
Okay.
because I thought it looked similar. I thought, it's built into a mountain. It wasn't storming and it wasn't night out, but everything else looked kind of similar to me.
Well, I mean, you have a lot of planets that have similar sort of atmospheres, like, just because you only have so many options, so...
Right. It was just... that's what I thought. But
I don't know, that's understandable.
Apparently it's just an ISB base, which I found was interesting. We'll go into a little bit of that later. So AP5 goes through security fine, and Chopper sets off the alarm, but the stormtroopers miss it. I don't know how you miss it if you were supposed to be watching people go through security.
I don't know. I guess it's one of those things they just don't take droids that seriously, which is, I think AP5 even makes that. Like, no wonder Chopper has succeeded at these things so many times. They just completely ignore us.
Yeah, that's right. He did make that point. It's a good point. Yeah, it was just... I was thinking, I was like, stormtroopers only suck at shooting people, they suck at security.
Yeah, it did seem kind of off.
In general. But...
because it even beeps and they don't even look. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right, it could be the whole droid.
Yeah. But I guess they also pick up on the fact that of Chopper because I guess Thrawn sent some sort of thing about...
Like a memo out on him.
Yeah. Which seemed kind of weird, but I guess I could see it. I just don't know how far and wide memos spread in the Empire.
Well, when it was these in fact I've got this written down just so I got it right. There it sets off the alarm and it goes to an Imperial Information Office crew of Imperial IGV-55 surveillance vessel, and that's where we meet controller LT-319.
Okay.
And
so is this kind of the first introduction of like a tech crew on the Imperial side?
This would be the first time outside of the books that we've heard, because I've read in, especially in New Dawn, there's a character who works for this same thing, this Imperial Information Office.
Right.
She's kind of like
so is the Information Office more or less technical support, or does it actually have a role beyond that?
Their job is to listen. They're like the NSA of the Empire.
Okay, fair enough.
They listen in and they report and gather information.
Okay.
Yeah, very much like...
Well, that's kind of funny. I feel like that's a modern addition to the Imperial Empire.
Yeah, it's they're not quite the CIA because they don't go into action, but they just listen, watch, and report.
Yeah, they just try to pick up as many memos as possible.
Yeah, and then they report it on to the ISB agents to do the dirty work, so to speak.
Fair enough.
But they're just like information collectors is what they are. We're introduced to controller LT-319. He has the Lobot cybernetic implants, as does the rest of the crew. Officially, for those of you playing at home, it officially is called the AJ-6 Cyberborg Construct. Everybody got that?
Right. AJ-6 Cyberborg Construct.
Construct, yeah.
Do we need to know this information for later on?
We sure do.
Is there a test later?
There's going to be a quiz someday in Star Wars, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's the AJ-6 Construct.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And what exactly does that construct do?
Well, that would be what we see like Lobot wear.
That's his earmuffs?
It's that big round thing around his head. We also saw this in Season 1 with Sibo. Way back in Season 1.
When he was mind controlled?
Well, he was he was crazy, but they stole all the information out of his head, or they wanted to.
Yeah.
And he was responsible for Ezra's parents, or knew Ezra's parents or whatever. So we have seen it before.
But I mean, what does that actually do for the person? Does it allow them to connect to PCs or show them information?
It's like cybernetic implant kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's I'll go as far as to say it's Star Wars version of the Borg, maybe, but not really.
Okay.
But they're literally connected themselves, are connected to the information.
Okay.
So they can.
So it's not quite like Matrix.
So that's like a Bluetooth capability, I guess.
Kind of, yeah. Wirelessly, yeah. Kind of like a Matrix thing, kind of, sort of, in a way, but not, But they're constantly connected to each other. And
copy that. Matrix meets Star Trek meets Star Wars, kinda, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So any random cyborg sci-fi reference, just throw it in there. It's close enough.
That's
probably what it stands for too. AJ6, the 6 different shows that you could possibly throw in there.
Yeah, it's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, except now it's 6 degrees of Cyborg.
6 degrees of Lobot. Yeah.
So I guess you could tie in Cyborg from Justice League 2 now.
Yeah, probably.
So, also, is it just me, or you guys may? Do you guys know who Pablo Hidalgo is?
Who?
Pablo Hidalgo. Okay, Pablo Hidalgo is he's kind of the keeper of the the Star Wars information, or at least it used to be. They used to call it the HoloNet.
Okay.
It was the term Lucas gave it, and he was the keeper of it.
Okay. The HoloNet.
Now he's part of the Star Wars team, the writing team, the storyboard team. So
is that a real person?
Yeah, he's a real person.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway,
sorry, calling a fake person there for a second.
No, it's a real guy.
For a second, you're like, I don't remember that dude on the show at all.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck is a HoloNet?
He's in Rogue One, believe it or not.
Okay,
but
I was like, what the fuck is a HoloNet?
He's also plays an alien in episode 3.
It's like a lightsaber, but like net.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's like the keeper. He's also okay. You guys watch Rebels Recon with me, right?
Everyone's
no.
He's the guy who.
He's the guy that wears the funny shirt. I mean, the funny hat.
No, he's the guy that asks that it's always drinking coffee or something, and that Andy asks questions to.
Oh, okay.
That's him. So this guy to me looks a lot like Pablo Hidalgo.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
He's not voiced by Pablo Hidalgo. He's actually voiced, believe it or not, by Josh Gad, I believe is his name, who does the same voice of the snowman in Frozen. I can't think of his name. Olaf. Yes, thank you. So,
okay.
And he's also done all those really cool Star Wars videos on YouTube with Daisy Fuentes.
Really?
You're kidding?
How
did you get? You have a daughter. How do you get away with not watching Frozen?
I haven't had to watch it. I'm sure Robin's watched it several times.
Oh my god, dude!
Had to watch
you are
Frozen.
so lucky.
I know.
It's not a bad movie, but like
Especially
you watched
with
it
a
like
daughter.
10 times.
Well, to my defense, we tried to watch it at my house, and after that, we cut ice all day long, or whatever the fuck that song was at the beginning. I was out. Yeah, I was out. I was sleeping.
Wow.
And Caitlin woke me up when it was over.
Okay. Well, at least you got to sleep through it. That's good. Yeah, you're really lucky with a girl. I've watched that so many times. Oh, my God.
Now we've seen Moana 3 times already.
Have you really? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
At least it's cute.
God bless the Amazon Fire Stick.
There you go. All right. So, moving on. So, AP5 pretty much completes his mission with ease, and I think he lies pretty good, too. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I think he runs into, like, one other droid that's, like, the same model as him, and he's just like, oh, you've been,
is it the female?
PZ7, the female version of
EZ7?
EZ7.
And it's just like, oh, yeah, you've been redeployed to this area. She's like, okay. That's it. That's that.
Didn't even say he made the comment, like, wow, that was really easy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I completely understand. And he walks off.
I think he also makes a joke about like, oh, I can't believe I'm the same type of droid as that.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Also, where the hell is everybody? If this is an ISB base especially, there's nobody around. There's 2 stormtroopers outside the door.
Well, apparently they thought it was camouflaged.
Break.
They didn't think anyone was going to show up.
In the PZ7 droid, and he walks right into the control room and downloads the information.
Yeah,
this is an ISB base. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
You wouldn't be able to do that here. You wouldn't be able to walk in the FBI and start downloading files.
I don't know.
You would hope
I don't know.
I hope
You might be able to.
I hope not.
You could jump the fence to the White House now, so that seems to be a
not
thing.
be caught for 15 minutes. I saw that.
Yeah, that seems to be a thing.
Like there was a stand-up comedian that was doing a joke about that, like where someone jumps the White House, runs in, ashes in the first guard, and just like runs around for like 20 minutes. And like 20 days earlier, like a week or 2 earlier, they caught the dude with just a trunk full of guns and like an actual X over like a map that had like of the DC area of the White House. It's like
I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
That's a bit off topic,
but maybe the Imperials took a note from Washington DC security. I don't know. But yeah, the place just seems completely deserted to me. And also, the other problem I have with the scene: why doesn't he take more than the Lothal codes? There's nobody there. He could just sit there and download the entire database. I mean, at this point.
Because
probably a good chunk of the database, if nothing else.
What I think it was is back to the fact that he is a
protocol droid.
He's a protocol droid, basically. So his task was to get those codes. So that's what he's doing, is just getting those codes. He didn't expand his to get more than what he needed. He just got the codes and he was leaving.
I don't know. He's kind of expanded on his programming in the past, though.
Kinda.
Like in bits and pieces, just not like super heavily, but he's built on it.
But I think this was one of those, he wanted the mission to succeed because he's in charge, and so it's like, this is the mission. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get out.
And I'm going to get the credit for it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Okay, so Chopper gets reprogrammed. It kind of gets to take control fairly fast, even though they say he kind of resists.
That's probably just in terms of storyline, but I don't know. Like, I wasn't aware you could just
firewall or anything. You know?
Yeah, like it was weird you can reprogram a droid that easily because I assumed like there's some built-in personality. I assume that's a longer process where you actually have to kind of have a direct access to like a main part of it. But really, it's just kind of going through like his little USB cord thing.
Well, not only that, but it's not like he's. This is going to sound weird. It's not like he's R2D2. R2D2 literally plugs in. Chop just kind of uses his
it's the little
arm.
key thing.
Yeah, he's just using his robot arm to turn it. So you think he just, release the arm and sever the connection.
I don't know. Like, there's a few bits of this that it's really just you're just kind of jumping over plot holes.
A little bit. It there are times it felt like this was kind of thrown together. I don't know. Like, we could talk about it more later.
It could just be one of those episodes they wanted to have more fun with, or maybe they just didn't have the budget to really go too far out with it. So
I guess I don't know. There was a lot with this episode.
It's a show that does really good on like the end parts of the season and on the center part, and there's some little bits in between. But if they're putting more and more of like their like time into like some of the higher bits like towards the end of the season or the beginning or whatever, that could be taking up more of the budget, so where you don't really have too much left over for episodes like these,
I guess.
This is not a really action-packed episode at all.
No, it's not. It's actually pretty low on action. Let's just keep trying to painfully get through this. Back on the Imperial Shutter.
It's good enough. Let's keep going.
Yeah, that's what this episode's worth. Chopper's new attitude. He uses manners. He compliments everybody. And he brings Wedge a carton of blue milk, which I thought was a nice touch.
It was kind of funny at first, and it's kind of funny seeing AP5's like reaction to it. Just like, no, I don't trust this. What the fuck are you up to?
Right.
Like, and it's funny for a couple minutes, but then it just drags on.
Well, he picks up on it, like he said, you use a code 16, that's an Imperial term, you're in rust mode, what? What are you doing?
Yeah.
He picks up on it pretty quick.
Yeah,
he's around him all the time, too.
Yeah, it's like almost instantaneous, and then like you have to spend like another 5 to 10 minutes of no one believing him.
Oh, yeah. Really, it's almost the entire episode till the very end, right? That's part of the theme of the episode. Nobody's listening to AP5.
Yep, that's true.
Because it's really kind of an overall theme of people ignoring the droids.
Though I actually, in this episode's defense, I do find AP5 trying to follow Wedge into the bathroom to talk to him.
Yeah, that's
super funny.
We finally get to find out what a bathroom looks like in Star Wars, and apparently it's not called the bathroom; it's called the refresher.
Yeah,
which is a stupid name.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was
refresher.
Like, where's the loo? Where's the refresher?
I have to use the refresher. What?
It sounds like a weird lemonade drink, if we're being honest. But you don't want that lemonade drink. It's not.
I mean,
no one does.
Kind of goes along the lines of restroom, but not really.
Yeah,
I don't really. I got to go freshen up.
Yeah, it's kind of that sort of thing.
That's what they're going for.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, you can make the argument with different species in the universe that's going to work differently.
Sure.
I don't know if they've gone into that. Probably not. Probably don't need to. But it's just weird, like that. You think there'd be just a different term than refresher?
I guess they just wanted to make up something new for bathroom. I don't know why. I would think bathroom would be universal, but that's just me. Or restroom would be universal.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay.
Or private facilities or something.
Something. The loo.
Yeah.
So let's just keep moving. So we'll get back to the Ghost. AP5 still trying to get everybody's attention. Even Wedge goes, they're playing some sort of spy game. He thinks it's a game between him and Chopper.
Yeah.
All this.
Yeah, they all think it's just them being assholes to each other, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing that's kind of weird about that is, like, Hera, who's been around this droid for so long, doesn't seem to pick up on Chopper being completely different. Even though at the beginning of the show, she's the one closest to Chopper out of anyone on the ship.
Yeah, outside of AP5, she knows him best. And you would think that the minute she sees him trying to download the hyperspace logs, that would have been a huge red flag right there, and she'd be trying to turn him off right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of walking out of the room to tell everybody, I think you might be right about Chopper.
Which makes no sense.
No sense whatsoever.
Like, if you can just instantly be like, nope, off.
Yeah.
Like, because you could turn them off, talk to other people, and then deal with the situation.
Well, yeah, and then run antivirus software or whatever,
Like, I'm sure
Clean them
viruses are a common thing even in the, Star Wars universe.
Precisely.
Like, you have to do it occasionally. Like, he's just going, dealing with Imperial, like, systems all the time. It's bound to pop up.
You would think, I don't know, especially after everything she's been through.
Yeah.
That would be the first thing she does anytime a droid goes on a mission.
Mm.
Make sure that they haven't been screwed with.
I'm sure it's a common issue, right?
I would think. I think it'd be a security protocol thing.
And if it's not, then, like, wouldn't that be a flaw the Rebels should be exploiting on the Imperial side? Like, if you can just that easily take over, like, random droids.
Right, exactly. Or she even says that to Chopper, well, I delete your files as a security protocol. She already does security protocols to begin with, so why doesn't she do it here?
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. It was out of character. It felt like...
Yeah, there's a few things that are just kind of weird. And then by the time you do actually have her figure it out, she gets super pissed off about it and then almost fries Chopper, which somehow blows up his ship. Yeah. I have no idea how the mechanics of that work.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but we'll get to there. I agree with you, though. That's another that's a discussion.
Like, they wirelessly send so much energy to the ship, or to, like, the NSA thing, that it blows up the entire damn thing.
It does.
That makes no fucking sense.
We'll get to it. Hold on. We'll get there, I promise. The other thing that comes up when Chopper traps them or he gets them all in the cargo hold. I'm not sure why they all go. I mean, even AP5 seems to call him out on it, and Ezra calls him a coward for it. And yet they all still fucking go down. You only need a couple people. It's a droid. Ezra's a Jedi. I think he can handle
it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like forced.
Yeah.
I mean, really badly. I don't understand. I didn't understand. I was like, okay, so now Ezra's walking around without his lightsaber, obviously, because you could just use your lightsaber to get through that grate.
Right. Exactly. There's a good point there. I didn't think about that.
I'm like, what are we doing here? This is kind of stupid.
Like, the characters are less intelligent because it benefits the plot for them to be less intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you would think also protocol would dictate don't leave the cockpit unattended when you're in Imperial space, especially. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Come see this.
Yeah.
See what?
See what? Let's go, everybody.
Everyone, come on.
It'll be great.
What's that? There's ice cream and pizza in the cargo hold. Yay!
Hey, party. And then it's AP5 to the rescue. I did kind of like the small battle outside. It was kind of cool to see Chopper with blasters and flying around trying to take AP5 out. Kind of, sort of, maybe.
Yeah. You say so.
I'm trying here, Brian. I'm trying. All right, so here we go. Here's your point, Aaron. Chopper shocked back to normal.
Actually, how does that bring him back to normal outside of just destroying the NSA building?
Well, that's the other thing. So,
because shouldn't you still have to kind of technically reprogram him back?
That's what I was thinking. It would have been better,
you'd have to destroy whatever program they installed on him to take control over.
Well, not only that, but it would have been. I'm assuming it's because they destroyed the array and destroyed the connection. But you would think the programming would still be in him to be taken over later.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't wipe him clean by shocking the shit out of him.
Well, even that, you didn't have a direct control over him. You would think there'd still be a protocol for him to follow if that got disconnected.
Yeah, and I know it's
for whatever reason.
It's a fantasy world, but if I run my vacuum cleaner too close to my old computers, I would shock the shit out of them and they would fry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Circuit boards are probably still.
Yeah, you don't destroy viruses by shocking the shit out of your computer.
Right. I would think he would be completely fried. Every sensor. I don't know, Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, well, like you said, it seemed kind of odd. And then they shocked the shit out of him, and then they're like, come on, Chopper.
Yeah.
Are you still in there, Chopper?
Yeah.
Chopper, you there? And it's like, hey, hello, how's it going? Like, what the fuck?
I know, it was like... She's super pissed off. She's like, oh yeah, well, fucking take this. Shocks the fuck out of him. And then she's like, oh my god, Chopper, I'm so sorry. Are you there, buddy? Are you there?
Kind of the thing is she's pissed off they took over her droid. because that's her droid and she cares about it, and then proceeds to just shock the fuck out of it.
I know. And then she's all concerned. She
Like,
does a
it's
180 and is like, "Oh, Chopper, are you there, buddy? Come back, come back."
Like,
I'm
it's a
"What?"
really, like, bipolar moment in terms of just, like, switching from, like, one emotion to another.
That's a good point. Bipolar Hera. There we go.
But that's not, like, that's actually pretty out of character for her, to be honest. Like, usually she's pretty collected.
Usually she is. She's usually the stoic, steady one.
Yeah.
In this case, not so much.
Even though the mechanics of this scene make no fucking sense in any way.
The only thing I take away from it is don't piss Hera off, because apparently she doesn't give a flying fuck about you when she's pissed off.
True.
Just as long as she gets to make her point.
To kill my enemy? Okay.
Come back, buddy. Come back.
Come on. We're going to blow you up later. You're going to take out a couple more ships for me, guy.
All right. Let's get to the final scene. I like this. Not everybody did.
I think this is the highlight of this episode.
I thought it was the highlight, and I thought it was funny. AP5, the musical. It had kind of a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy vibe, and I don't know if that's because he sounds like the robot from
Marvin
from Hitchhiker's Guide, but
he does a little.
The whole scene just kind of it
has a weird, like, void of nothingness. Take me, just that really kind of almost borderline depressed sort of, like take
it's like,
on it.
Oh, it's so quiet, it's peaceful, and and then he's like, no, go away.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
And isn't it ironic that it took him to be by himself to finally be happy?
Except for, like, the baby goldfish things, whatever they are.
You're talking about the Nibre.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is the second, like, aquatic animals we've seen just browsing around space.
Apparently space fish are big in the
space aquatics.
There
but that's the thing, like, you don't see them in any of the films, but you see them, like, multiple times in Rebels. So apparently they are a thing. And there's, like, multiple species.
Hey, you know what? Rebels is canon, guys, so there we go. It's there. They exist.
I'm just waiting.
Squales and Nibres.
Squales and Nibres and baby
Like, when are we seeing, like, the space jellyfish? Like, that sounds kind of cool.
It's coming. That would be kind of cool. You know, at least you get, like, 1 billion of them around you or something. Yeah.
Like, it just kind of messes with, like...
force jellies.
Force jellies.
But yeah, I thought this was, like, the best part of the entire episode. I think this is actually a good clip. It's just the rest of the episode's kind of slow.
Actually, like, laughed out loud.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty damn
like, you
funny.
see him actually almost start singing, and it's just, like, he's that happy. And it's funny.
I'm so happy. Or I was so happy. Hilarious. All right, guys, so we've done our best, and we got 26 minutes out of it, so let's do...
It's amazing it got that wrong.
I know, right? Yeah. Let's do final thoughts and grades. All right, Brian, since you're back, sir, first final thought and grade.
Let's go with a D.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not even a D. Wow. I'll go with a D. It sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, a new episode of Rebels. Turn on the TV, and I'm like, oh, it's a droid episode. I don't like those to begin with. And I was like, oh my god, this is an even worse droid episode than the last droid episode we had. Mm-hmm. Like you said, the only high point was the one spot where they took on the anything you could do, I can do better.
Yeah.
Went too long.
Yeah.
But it started out was like, oh, that's pretty funny, and then it was like, okay, when's this gonna end? And then at the very end, we get the.
Trapped in space.
Yeah. Like it was like he's like, I'm happy, it's so peaceful and everything else, and then he sees the light coming towards him, and he's like, no, go away. So that was what saved
you
from an F.
From an F. Yeah. I'll build off that. It's just this could have been put anywhere else, almost.
It really does destroy the momentum.
Yeah,
from the previous episode.
We had a pretty strong episode. Last episode was fairly strong with Mon Mothma and the coming out of the rebellion, bringing the rebellion together. We know next week is or this coming Saturday is Twin Suns, which is the big theme with Maul and Kenobi from the previews we've seen. So I don't know. They did this last year too. It seemed like we had that when we introduced AP5, which that episode was better than this one.
Yeah,
but we had kind of like a lull. They gave us a lull before they finished really strong.
The thing is, like, you pretty much have Twin Suns, and then you have the season finale, which is like 2 episodes, but it's playing as one, right? So we have like 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
You really, and this episode really would have been fine, even like 2nd episode in the season.
Well, that's what I mean. They
Like,
could have
it
put
really-
it anywhere.
Yeah, they really could have.
Yeah.
Like, you really could have just done the, Mon Mothma episode, then the Darth Maul Kenobi episode, and then whatever they're finishing out with. And that'd been a pretty good, like, momentum building run through, I think.
Oh, I agree 100%. In fact, I'll give it my lowest grade, I think, yet for Rebels. I'm gonna go C-. And again, it's the comedy at the end that kind of kept it from being a D for me, and that says a lot for me.
I don't know, but like, is there any other redeeming features? Like, they mentioned Thrawn, kinda, but it doesn't really play into anything.
They don't really mention,
this episode really doesn't have any impact on the greater plot.
I mean, yeah, they got the codes for Lothal. I mean, that's the only part that connects to the greater storyline.
Yeah.
But other than that,
yeah, but like you could have mentioned that like as a side thing,
sure,
like
it
in
could have
another
been,
episode.
You could have done this right at the beginning of the second half of the season, right after they did the 2-part aliens.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's a good one. I remember that episode.
Yeah,
very memorable.
The insects.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Bug Planet.
Yeah,
it was the one that had the tie into Rogue One.
I remember that name.
So it had the.
I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. and go. That's it.
It had the one dude with the respirator from Rogue One in it.
Yes, it had.
I know what you're talking
Saw Gerrera in it, but anyway, so yeah, they could have done that right after that, and it would have been perfectly fine, and I would have probably enjoyed it more. I prefer if
you wouldn't have enjoyed it.
It would have been better.
It would still have sucked an episode. It
still would have sucked, but it wouldn't be at the end of the season.
Yeah, it would have still sucked, but it wouldn't have destroyed the momentum going towards the end of the season.
If I tell Dave Filoni anything, make the end of the last 5 episodes of the season incredibly strong and finish strong. That would be my.
Well, yeah, but Rebels has that kind of weird up and down pacing.
I know.
Like that's really how they've kind of built it.
They like to do their little build. They like to do these sharp builds and sharp down, like a roller coaster almost. But I don't know. But yeah, I give it a D. Aaron, what do you?
I'd probably also give it a D, and it's fine if you want to give it a D. Like
it's borderline.
Like let's be honest, the comedy prevents it from just being an F. Like if there's no other really redeeming features for this episode, outside of a few funny bits here and there, and honestly, that's with still going with the assumption that there's jokes that fail and feel forced. Like only some of the jokes kind of pass, if we're being honest.
And honestly, the other critique I would have this episode, I don't feel that Wedge would act the way Wedge did. Just knowing him from the movies. He seemed out of character. Yeah, I just don't see Wedge being the.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true of Hera as well, though.
The goofy go-along kid. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they're trying to portray him younger, but I don't see a guy who attacks the Death Star, survives that, is in the Battle of Hoth, survives that, and survives the Battle of Endor. Pretty damn good pilot, pretty damn heroic person. I just don't see that person acting the way he did in this episode.
Yeah, well, I mean,
there's
a couple characters that either seem less intelligent, normal, or just seem out of character. Like Hera seems kind of all over the place for the episode.
Yeah, and also where's Ezra's Jedi powers in this whole episode?
Yeah,
especially when they get trapped like Brian saying, where's his lightsaber? Or just use the Force.
Yeah, Yep, just all ignored. Just there's a lot of little plot holes where it's just like, don't worry about them, just run them over.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a clear D.
Okay, so now that you've heard us finish bitching and you want to listen to us bitch more, no, I'm just kidding. If you do like this podcast, or if you like all of our podcasts, please go. It's real simple, real easy to find us now. Go to the number 4, MidwestGuys.com. .com. There you'll find iTunes, you'll find our Podbean, you'll find Facebook, Twitter, Stitcher. It's all the links there to follow us, as well as all of our podcasts are there. And guess what? Our podcasts are categorized now. So if you just like listening to Rebels, you click the Rebels link at the top of the page and you get just the Rebels episodes. If you like our new Binge Watch series, you click Binge Watch. If you like Marvel DC Kings, click Marvel DC Kings. You get all just those podcasts. Or if you will listen to them in chronological order, you still can. It's all one-stop shop. Again, the number 4, MidwestGuys.com. Again, the number 4, MidwestGuys.com. Again, the number 4, MidwestGuys.com. So,
is there a reason to do it that many times?
And the loop, and the loop, and the loop.
Yes, that's actually me saying it 3 times, and I didn't edit myself. Repetition is the best way to learn. Did you know that? Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't do well in school.
I learned that in sales when I was in sales. Anyway. All right, so there we go. So there's my sales pitch. Hopefully it was good. All right, well, Brian, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
And welcome back, by the way.
Thank you.
And Aaron, thanks for joining us always.
Yep, no problem.
And this is B. Willie saying, may the Force be with you always.